friends, my name is Sarah and today I am here to share my TBR for BookTube-a-Thon 2016. Before we jump into the TBR, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed to me over the last 10-ish months that I have been doing this booktube thing. I officially hit 600 subscribers last week, which is a little bit crazy, and it still kind of boggles my mind that many of you want to listen to me ramble about books on the internet, but thank you so much for subscribing and for commenting and for just being generally supportive of this thing. I obviously still have a little bit of a ways to go before I hit 1,000, but when I hit that milestone, we will do like a Q&A and giveaway and all sorts of fun stuff to celebrate that. Now let us jump into the TBR. If you are not familiar with it, BookTube-a-Thon is a readathon that, as is implied by the name, is focused on the booktube community. It was started and is hosted every year by Ariel Bissett, and I will link in the card symbol above and the description below the video she did that describes this year's challenges. There are 7 of them, so let us jump right in. Challenge number 1, read a book with yellow on the cover. For this one, I chose the Puffin in Bloom edition of Heidi by Johanna Spyri because it is beautiful and lovely and yellow is all over the cover, and this is a children's classic that I never actually read. I saw the movie years and years ago and can barely remember anything about it. I have just added these to my shelves and it is just lovely and wonderful and yellow all over the place. Challenge number 2, read a book only after dark. For this one, I have chosen The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is the first book in the Kingkiller Chronicle. I might be cheating a little bit for this because I have actually already started The Name of the Wind. I'm 150-ish pages into it, but it is a pretty hefty book, as you can see, somewhere around 700 pages, and so it's kind of a pain in the neck to put in my bag and carry it on my shoulder to and from work to read on my commute. So reading it at home after dark is a pretty good option, and I'm hoping that doing it for a readathon will really get me into the story. I have been enjoying what I've read thus far, just haven't really, I think, gotten deep into it to the point that I'm just grabbed by the characters and the story and cannot put it down, so hopefully picking it up for a readathon will aid me in that. Challenge number 3, read a book that you discovered because of BookTube. For this one, I have chosen The Girl Who Fell Beneath Fairyland and Led the Revels There, which is the second book in the Fairyland series by Catherynne M. Valente. I first heard about the Fairyland series from Mari, from My Name is Mari Ness, and I read the first book, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making, earlier this year and absolutely loved it, and I'm just very excited to jump into this next installment of this just delightful middle grade fantasy series. Challenge number 4, read a book by an author you love. For this one, I am going with The Arm of the Starfish by Madeleine L'Engle. As you guys know, Madeleine L'Engle is one of my all-time favorite authors. I have loved her writing since I read A Wrinkle in Time at the age of 12 and have not done much reading of her stuff beyond the Time Quintet, so I've decided it is time to start exploring some of her other series. Challenge number 5, read a book that is older than you. For this one, I am going with Rainbow Valley by L.M. Montgomery, which is the 7th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. As you guys know, the Anne of Green Gables series is one of my all-time favorites, and I have been working my way through rereading the entire series, and this book was published in 1919. I was not born until 1989, so it is definitely older than me. Challenge number 6, read a book and watch the movie adaptation. For this one, I am going with Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Yes, I know, I haven't ever read Ender's Game. Everyone's always shocked when I tell them that, but I just never did, and I've had this book borrowed from my little sister for like 4 or 5 months probably at this point. It's definitely been on my shelf since before I moved to my new house, and so I just really need to get to it, and I know that there's a movie adaptation, and I'm pretty sure that people were not pleased with the movie adaptation, and sometimes watching those really bad ones can be quite entertaining. So I'm really excited to experience this story for the first time and then see how potentially awful the movie adaptation of it wound up being. Challenge number 7, read 7 books. So obviously with those first challenges, that gives me a grand total of 6 books for the BookTube-a-Thon as well, which means that the 7th book is just a book that I get to choose. I don't 100% know what this 7th book is going to be just yet, but here are a couple of options. First is Olive Kittredge by Elizabeth Strout, which is the next Pulitzer Prize book that I will be picking up. This one won, I think, in the early 2000s, and it's relatively short. It's only like 300-ish pages, so this might be a good one to get through rather quickly. Another possibility is Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This was my pick for my TBR jar challenge for the month of July, which was to read a book that was blurbed by an author I admire, and this one was blurbed by Elizabeth Vine, the author of the Codename Verity duology, which I absolutely adore. So this is another option that I might pick up for that 7th story. Either way, though, I will definitely be reading it in the month of July. The third potential for my 7th book is Rich and Pretty by Rumaan Alam, which was my pick for the Book of the Month Club in the month of July. It is a contemporary story about female friendship that just sounds quite fascinating, so this may wind up being picked up sometime over the readathon as well, but if not, I'll get to it soon. Well, there you have it, friends. That is my rather tentative TBR for the BookTube-a-Thon 2016. If you have read any of the books, I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would also love to know if you are participating in BookTube-a-Thon as well, so that we can cheer each other on and encourage each other and compare TBRs and all of those wonderful things, and just get excited about all of the reading that is going to happen next week. If you want to follow me elsewhere online, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, all at Sarah Ann Hayes. The links for those profiles will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye! And today I am here to share my challenge number...